how do you reclaim the confidence that you started out with when you applied to law school and you got in? Perhaps you remember a time when you competed to join the different teams and you socialized and rubbed elbows with fellow students who are going places. You proactively reached out to people who are further along in the field than you, and you had no qualms about networking with them, picking their brains. You were a confident you. And then somewhere along the line, the bar exam rose up and seemed to have chipped away at your confidence, if not crushed it. Now it's time for you to move past it and get your license and be the attorney that you've worked so hard to become, except you feel it, this hole where the confidence used to be. And if things have gotten particularly bad, you may feel that in that hole has filled in the weeds of self-doubt, second-guessing yourself, negative thoughts, and negative self-fulfilling prophecy, sad thoughts about what you're afraid your future looks like now. Well, I want to tell you that I feel you, I hear you, I was there, and we're not doing that anymore. There is a way to get past it, and it starts with understanding and then action. But first, you have to be all on board with leaving this way of thinking and way of life behind. So if that's you, watch through to the end, and I'm going to break down exactly what's happening inside the mind and heart when you feel like your confidence has been stolen away, and how to return to the confident 2.0 version of yourself, so that you can not only apply yourself well, conquer the bar, but also enjoy the life that comes after, whether you choose to practice law or not. So before I dive in, I want to tell you that the tools and the steps that I'm going to talk about here can all be found inside the Conqueror's Mindset Bundle, where you go deeper into the explanations and the resources, and you get them handed to you so that you can just press play, pull them up, and use them on a regular basis to rebuild yourself so that you can succeed on what you are going down this road to do, passing the bar exam. So if you're interested in being able to really work it, then look down below for a link to the Conqueror's Mindset Bundle, Conquer the Bar. So when you are feeling like your confidence is gone, I emphasize that word because it's not true. It's not gone. But what's happened is that a series of events have occurred, right? So think back to when you had that confidence, or remember feeling that confidence. A series of events have occurred since that time that pile on top of that confidence. So let's say it's like a lamp, right? And you have a lamp, and then you put a hand towel over it, and then you put a bath towel over it, and then you put a sheet over it, and then you add a blanket over it. Can you imagine that light growing dimmer and dimmer? This is what's happening if you feel like your confidence is gone. It's not gone. It just has stuff layered on top of it that need to be peeled away and removed. That's the why behind it. You are still that person. In fact, I dare say that once you successfully remove all these layers in the right way, you will be even more confident than you were before, because all of those layers have actually built you up. After all, you're not dead. And what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. You just have to know how to reframe it into an empowering thing for you, instead of a thing that told you that you're not enough, you're not going to make it, you don't have what it takes, or you're not supported, or you're not secure. All those negative messages that we get from those stories, and we hold on to them, that's what's blacking out your confidence. So now that you know what's happening, what do you do about it? The very first step in peeling away those layers is to commit to yourself. Commitment. What does that mean? It means deciding to show up for you in a certain way, a certain consistency, and to give yourself the time, the resources, the effort that you would probably require of another, or he or she saying that they're committed to you. Give that to yourself. That's the first step. So how do you do that? You show up for yourself consistently by saying set an appointment with yourself, right? Every day you show up for yourself and you do something that is geared towards you being with you, loving you, caring for you, building up you. Something that feels good, something that really changes the mood for you in that moment, and that starts to remind you that you're a person who matters and you deserve to be shown up for. Now, this is important because just that act, which I call an act of self-love, you can call it whatever you want, but showing up for yourself on a regular basis already sends the message that you are somebody important. Think about it. Who in the world are you going to set an alarm for and make sure that you're ready to make the call or make the visit or reach out to on a regular daily basis? That person has got to be pretty dang important, right? And if you do that for you, you are sending yourself the message that you are pretty dang important. Now, watch when you are working your way towards these self-appointments and see where you falter. See what excuses you may use to skip today's appointment, and catch yourself and lovingly ask yourself if you are not worth it. Aren't you worth it? You are. Aren't you more important than that TV show? You are. Is the daily incremental build up of self-love and investments into yourself, is that not way more beneficial than whatever entertainment you might get from doing whatever else it is that you're doing? And then really catch yourself if you find yourself skipping your self-appointment because of you're in the middle of a chore or something like that. Now, it might take some time to reorient your day and your schedule to basically revolve around your appointments with yourself, but you'll get there. And with each effort that you make to get there, you are reinforcing to yourself that you are important. You are worth it. You are somebody. That's the first layer, is to reclaim your worthiness, okay? And you do that for you. The reason why this works so well is because a lot of people who struggle with passing the bar exam and becoming an attorney have tacked their worthiness to the bar. And having tacked your worthiness to the bar and revolved your life around it, if it doesn't give you that gratification, that reward, that yes, I accept you, yes, you are accepted, I recognize you. If the bar doesn't do that for you, you feel devastated. Your heart is broken, truly. It's as if you've personified the bar as this person who has the power to accept or reject you, because you have tacked your self-worth to the bar. You have revolved your life around it. This simple practice of a self-appointment that doesn't need to be more than 10 minutes a day, really and truly. It's the act of making yourself a priority and all that goes into showing up for those daily appointments that sends you the message that I am worthy, just me. Not because of a bar, not because of a license, not because of anything else, just me. And that's why this one step already shoots you forward in this process of receiving back or uncovering your confidence. Now, this may be hard if you're someone who wasn't raised feeling like a priority, and so that wasn't modeled to you. Or if you've been in relationships where you didn't feel like a priority, you were always the afterthought. They thought about you after everything else was done, or you were treated like a time filler. You've had many years of receiving this message that, you're not important, or you have to do a whole lot of things and like be a performance seal in order to have people pay attention to you on a semi-regular but not really basis. If you had any kind of history like that, then you'll need to pay attention to being intentional about putting yourself first, and then bringing in the beliefs that support that you can be a priority. And all those beliefs include feeling, yes, I am important. I'm a worthwhile individual. I am loved because you love yourself. Because if you didn't, you wouldn't be even watching this video trying to help yourself, right? I have so many things to be proud of, right? And I am wanted. You're showing yourself that you are wanted by showing up repeatedly. You want your own company. All of this creates the environment where outside things don't get to cover up your confidence. And that's really it. You've built like a force shield around you that, like, bar exam disappointments bounce off of, disappointments in love bounce off of, right? And other things, a bad interview or criticism from your boss just bounce off of that. You're able to see the event, take in the pointers for improvement, but it doesn't mean anything about you because you are the one in charge of your self-worth. And you can accomplish all of that by simply instilling this 10-minute a day habit. Okay. Now, what you do during that 10 minutes a day varies depending on what your needs are. And we get more into like the specific routes you want to take during that 10-minute session for yourself, depending on where you're at in life. We get more into that in the Conqueror's Mindset Bundle. It would be way too much and we get derailed to try and cover it all here in this video. But your first step is to set in that habit of consistency of showing up for yourself on a regular basis. Once you have that habit of consistency, showing up for yourself and sending yourself the message through real live actions, not words. That's why affirmations tend to not work. They work, but only after you have backed them up with actions. Once you've backed up the actions, backed up your words with actions that tell you you are special, you are loved, you are worthy, you are commitment worthy, you're deserving of being shown up for, you are important. Now you're able to go back and get all those stories and incidents that lied to you, that made you believe something about yourself that really isn't true. And now you're able to rework those stories in order to have a different meaning of that story. And most importantly, to unhook any meaning of it from you and your self-worth. So you see why the first step was important? You need to take back the reins, take back the command over your self-worth, not let anybody just be able to input any kind of junk into that by rejecting you or giving you a fail score on your exam. That's the first step so that you can get to the second step of looking at the situation and disconnecting it from your self-worth, right? And then all those blankets and layers that were placed on top of your life are being peeled away one by one. Now, if you want to go through the steps of how to disconnect that event from your self-worth, how to erase whatever meaning that it's implying about you from there, then I have another video I'm going to link somewhere around here that you can use that will walk you through the exact sequence of questions to ask yourself as you examine the different situations that as you examine the different situations that have blacked out your confidence, right? Like blackout curtains over your lamp. So use those specific questions. I run through them in sequence in that video. Look for the video, go to it next, and work with each of the events that occurred. Right now, you can go ahead and just at the end of this video, before you go to the next one, take a minute to write down what situations can I perceive contributed to my confidence being chipped away from me. And now they might feel painful to recall the events and to make a list of them. This is important because then you'll be able to work directly with real life things that happen instead of trying to work with this nebulous concept of I want my confidence back. You'll be able to look at exactly the situations that contributed to feeling a lower sense of confidence and reverse those situations, which you can do all by yourself in the comfort of your home. Just find that video and go through the questions for that. Use the questions, apply it to that situation, reverse the chipping away that it did. And since you already have a daily practice of coming to yourself every single day, when you reverse that, uproot that, and throw it away, that empty space that's left is filled immediately with your self-investment, your self-love, and your self-compassion, because you already have this daily habit of showing up for yourself. Now it takes about, I think, about 21 days of really showing up for yourself on a regular basis in order to see life really start to fall into place. You will change a lot from a message of being loved. Think about how much you can accomplish and how much like wind is beneath your wings when there's someone out there who's like totally in love with you and totally thinks that you're completely incredible and the most wonderful person, and they're just so happy that they get a chance to be with you. How much does that kind of lift you up as you go through your days? You fly through your classes, your work is like on point. These self-appointments, showing up for yourself, fills you up in that same way. And life really starts to come together for you when you come to believe in your self-love. It's going to take a minute to take root, especially if you haven't been regularly investing in yourself in a real way like this. I don't mean just following some 10 ways to love yourself blog on the internet, but really showing up for yourself in this way, in a way that proves to yourself, your world, your schedule, everybody, that you are the priority in this moment. When you do that and yourself starts to believe, oh, he's serious about this. Oh, she's serious about this. We are actually loved. We are actually important. Well, she hasn't missed an appointment in 14 days. My goodness. I think I'm starting to feel special here. When your inner self really starts to get that message, it will support you. It will fly you through the things that you need to do, because you always operate better when you feel loved on, cared for, accepted, cherished, and committed to. You always operate better under that light. So do this, list the stories, the things that chipped away at your confidence, so that you can go to the next video and then work on each of those stories. And then remember, because it takes time to gear up on the mental and emotional side, because we're essentially rewinding years, if not decades, of poor treatment, or, unbeknownst to yourself, things that weren't the best for your sense of worth and self-concept. Because we're rewinding all of that, you want to give yourself time before you start bar prep to do this kind of work. Because then when you do start bar prep, you're hitting the ground running. Your self is supporting you because it feels connected, stable, secure, safe, cared for, protected, provided for, shown up for, seen, heard, understood, and loved because of the mindset work that you've been doing. So build that in before you even start your bar prep. And if you want to talk more about what that looks like, then I'll post a link below too, that you can have like a pre-coaching consultation call, or some other ways that you can explore what it looks like to build up your mindset, yourself, before bar prep, so that you could have the best chances at passing the bar. That's what I have for you. Thank you for being here with me. I love being here with you. Thank you for letting me do this for you. And I'll see you in the next video.